Welcome in to Let's Be Honest. How is everybody doing? It is a gloomy, kind of gross day here in Tennessee. It was raining earlier, but gotta be honest, Tennessee this time of year, it's really hard to beat with all of the leaves changing, and we've actually had an incredible fall. It's been great weather, it's been warm, and it's just being out here in the country this time of year there's no better place in the country. If you haven't been to Nashville and you're thinking about coming, October is by far the best month to come because it's just so beautiful. But anywho, today is going to be fun because we're going to talk all about confidence. Confidence across the board. We're going to talk about it in work, relationships, friendships, and just how to navigate life having confidence and ultimately, working on self-esteem. Because when you feel good about yourself, really there's nothing that you can't do. And this is sort of, I will periodically ask my Instagram followers for questions, and there always seems to be consistent themes, whether it be about breakups, which was a couple weeks ago. There were a ton of questions about confidence. And you guys, since I launched this podcast over a year ago, it's always similar questions. So what I'm doing moving forward is I am going to start breaking them into categories. So today is going to be about confidence. And I think I'm a good example of what I'm going to be sharing today because I'm someone who really believes that you got to fake it till you make it. And I know about that because that's what I did for a long time. I would say I haven't actually become confident until the last few years, I would say. The last 4 years, I've really found myself and started really loving myself, which is funny because when I was on Laguna Beach 20 years ago, people couldn't believe that I was this quote unquote such a confident teenager, a 17-year-old. No one's that confident in high school. And at the time, it was wild for me because I remember being like, it's so funny that everyone thinks I'm so confident because I'm the complete opposite of that. I was a mess. I just knew how to fake it till you make it. And I've relied on that for a long time. And confidence is definitely something that I do feel like, people always talk about how your 30s for women are really impactful. And they are, because I think that that's when you really start to figure out who you are. And confidence is, I think, knowing who you are and being proud of who you are and sort of being unapologetically who you are. And that I do think a lot of times comes with age. I also think confidence comes with trying hard things and knowing that you can get through them. And that happens over the course of your whole life, really. And it's just slowly over time, the more hard things you do, the more you realize you're capable of a lot. And I'm someone who had a really difficult childhood, and I did go through a lot, but I still didn't develop real confidence until I was older. And I think a large part of that is having a dad who is a narcissist it's hard to navigate, and I think it strips away any sort of confidence that you do have. And so I had to quite literally tear myself down to rebuild myself. And I think that that's where a lot of my insecurity came from. It's funny because on the way to school today, I was telling my kids how in 2.5 years between the middle of 8th grade and then the beginning of my sophomore year, so 2.5 years, I went to 5 different schools. And I did that because I'm not proud of this by any means, but I'll just share this little story with you guys. So I've told you guys a million times on the podcast, I was a very rebellious bad kid. There's no other way to put that. I was very lost. In 8th grade, I had no real connection to an adult or to anybody really. At this point in my life, my brother and I had been split up. My dad and my brother were living in California. I was in Chicago with my mom, who was in a new marriage, and I wasn't close with my stepbrother and stepsister. I had a lot of issues with men for a multitude of reasons. It felt like it was like one thing after another with the boys/men in my life. And my connection to anything really was my boyfriend, Johnny, at the time. We kind of talked about this on the breakup episode. And my friends. I found connection in my friendships and the social scene. And unfortunately, what went with that was drinking early, smoking pot early. I started doing all of these things in 8th grade. And I had really no moral compass at the time, because I was just searching for anything. So in 8th grade, my friend Kelsey and I at the time, who was very similar to me in that we both were searching for anything, right? Because we both had really, we just didn't have a connection to anybody. And so we decided to bring little alcohol bottles to school, and we drank them at lunch, and we put them in the tampon trash things in the girls' bathroom. I don't know, I guess we thought no one would find them. And then after school, I was a cheerleader in middle school. We went to Kelsey's house and we kept drinking. And then I came back to cheer for the basketball game. And I remember my cheerleading coach calling me over. I'm on the side cheering, and she went, "Kristen, come here." And I'm going, "Oh, fuck, oh my God." So I walk over to her, and I wasn't drunk, but I was buzzed, and I at the time, I was like, I can't look at her in the face. So I pretended to tie my shoe for, honestly, who knows how long. It could have been 1 minute, or it quite literally could have been 5 minutes that I was just down there meticulously trying to tie my shoe to avoid having any face-to-face interaction with my cheerleading coach. She obviously knew, though, right? And so she had asked me, "Have you been drinking?" And I went, "No." Long story short, they had found the alcohol bottles from school. This girl, Gina, who was one of our friends, I guess, told on us. Thanks a lot, Gina. I'm kidding. I take full responsibility. And so, long story short, I was going to get expelled if my mom didn't withdraw me first. So my mom withdrew me, and I went to a different school in a different town over. And that, listen, I of course deserved that. That was on me. I was a fucking train wreck at this point in my life, and for many years to come, quite honestly. But that was so hard for me because my boyfriend Johnny was still at Barrington, and the second semester of 8th grade is when all the fun stuff's happening. So the dance at school I couldn't go to. I didn't get to graduate with my friends. And these are people that obviously I'd been in school with for a few years. And that was soul crushing. And I made the most of my new school. But I remember having the end of school countdown taped up in my room, like counting down from like 80 days because I just couldn't wait for that year to be over. So that sucked, okay? So that's 8th grade, 2 different schools. Then I started freshman year in Barrington, and then October of 2000 is when I moved out to California. And I moved out to California because I was getting into a lot of trouble. Also, there was not a great situation at home, to be honest, which I think you guys know at this point. While I do say a lot, I still try to protect the people in my life. But some shit went down at my house, and my dad was like, "You're moving out to California." So moved out to California, and because I was getting into a lot of trouble, my dad put me in a Catholic high school when I first moved out. And to be fair, I probably got in more trouble at that school and was doing way worse stuff than any other school, okay? Let's just throw that out there. So that kind of backfired. Also, it was like 30 minutes away. It just didn't make sense. So, but I did that for most of my freshman year of high school. And then my sophomore year of high school is when I went to Laguna Beach High School. So within 2.5 years, I went to 5 different schools. And also my whole childhood, I moved around a lot. We moved almost every single year. So I was always the new girl. I was always put in situations where I was uncomfortable, but it was sink or swim. And I learned how to be thrown in situations and figure it out because I didn't have a choice. And that is how you develop confidence, is by being thrown in situations where it's like you either have to figure it out or you're going to crumble. And realizing that you won't crumble is where you're like, oh, okay, I can do this. And that's what gives you confidence. And so I think that that persona that you guys were introduced to on Laguna Beach really came from that, of being thrown in situations. My whole childhood felt like I don't want to say an attack. It wasn't an attack isn't the right word, but I always felt on edge, like I was always playing defense. And obviously we've talked about this a million times. This is not going to be talking about Laguna Beach, but when I had producers trying to manipulate my life and put us in situations and stuff, how I knew how to survive was to get really defensive and like fight back in a lot of ways.
Let's take a quick break here, guys. I want to talk to you about Serve Pro. Serve Pro can make any size disaster like it never even happened. If you're not familiar with Serve Pro, they are the number one choice in cleanup and restoration, and they do construction too, which is great for me because I actually just started construction. My house is a war zone at the moment. Serve Pro has 50 years of experience helping people recover from disasters. Serve Pro is here to help 24/7. Just call 1-800-SERVE-PRO. They specialize in cleaning and restoration due to floods, storms, fires, mold, and more. They're faster to any size disaster with over 2,000 locations nationwide. I'm excited for when all of this construction is done at my house. Right now, I'm trying not to think about it. I'm just keeping my eyes on the prize, and I'm going to be using Serve Pro for that cleanup so it can be like it never even happened. I can't wait to have that moment. When you guys buy a new house, there's, of course, just always so many things that can happen, so much to do. And that's why Serve Pro is awesome because they will literally do it all. They are someone you can always count on. Okay, guys, visit servepro.com or call 1-800-SERVE-PRO today. Contact your local Serve Pro today by visiting servepro.com or call 1-800-SERVE-PRO. That's servepro.com. Okay, guys, let's talk about Wayfair. We all know, obviously, the holiday season is just around the corner and it's time to start getting your space ready. I'm a sucker for anything that's for the kitchen, like fun cookware, holiday serveware, decor. Like, that's where Wayfair just has completely gotten me. It's so satisfying to get great deals on things your home actually needs, especially before the holidays. Wayfair is the place to shop for all things home. Everything from sofas to spatulas. You name it, they have it. Right now, you can shop Wayfair's insane holiday deals and get up to 70% off during their Black Friday deals. My big thing for holidays, you guys, is mugs. I freaking love holiday mugs. It's ridiculous how many I have. So I'm always looking for new mugs. Wayfair has you covered. And so, hey, I'm here for it. I love any kind of Christmassy spatula, any kind of fun decor, serving platters, little Santa plates, anything fun for the kids too. I am all about. So I loved going on Wayfair and just browsing all of their holiday kitchen accessories. Also, their shipping is fast and it's free, which I know we all love that. I'm telling all of my friends right now about Wayfair. I'm obviously telling you guys about it too. Trust me, you're going to want to go check out their website. Don't miss out on saving big with Wayfair this holiday season. Head to wayfair.com now to shop Wayfair's Black Friday deals. That's WAYFAIR.com. Here's a brand I talk to you guys often about. It's Ritual. If you take probiotics, you might find this interesting. Lots of probiotics break down during digestion before they can even reach the colon. Well, obviously, this can be really irritating, not only because you may not be getting all of the microbiotics safely down to your biome, but also literally the early breakup of the capsule can irritate your digestive system. That's why Ritual's Symbiotic Plus is designed with a delayed release capsule to help reach the colon, an ideal place for biotics to grow and thrive. You guys know I love probiotics, specifically this Symbiotic Plus, because I just feel great when I take them. I have no bloating. This daily 3-in-1 prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic features 2 of the world's most clinically studied probiotic strains to support gut and digestive health. Ritual's Symbiotic Plus is designed with a delayed release capsule, which I already told you guys about, to help reach the colon and not the stomach. 1 daily pop of mint scented capsule for simple, streamlined gut support. Vegan friendly and formulated without GMOs, major allergens, animal products, shady fillers, and artificial colors. We love that here at Let's Be Honest. So get the good stuff to your gut with delayed release capsule tech that supports a balanced microbiome. Feel the difference daily with Symbiotic Plus. Get 25% off your first month at ritual.com/be honest. That's 25% off at ritual.com/be honest. Happy squatting, guys.
So, my point being, faking it till you make it can really take you far. It really, really can. And a lot of the questions that you guys sent me were about what to do when you lose belief in yourself, imposter syndrome. And so I think with anything in life, being your own biggest cheerleader is the most important thing, because if you don't believe that you can do hard things, Brene Brown, who's the most incredible author on the planet, she's written a ton of great books, but that's her big thing, is like, everyone can do hard things. Her books are really worth reading, by the way. And so, first of all, you have to get in touch with yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know we are all capable of great things. It's feeling it in your heart. I think our minds are actually what end up screwing us over, because that's where the fear will creep in, the self-doubt, all of these negative patterns that we tell ourselves. And it is also, I think, becoming aware of negative patterns that we have and shifting that narrative. So it's first realizing what negative patterns you have, whether that's I'm not good enough, nobody likes me, I'll never be X, I'll never be, and then saying, no, I am more than capable. I am enough. I've even had to do that with body image stuff over the years, you guys. It's anytime I get a thought of like, oh, I feel fat or whatever. And listen, we're all human, okay? We all have those thoughts or have at some point in our lives. And then I've learned to switch it over the years to say, no, I have my dream body. I have my fucking dream body. So we all have some sort of a negative thought pattern, and it's just becoming aware of it and then flipping the switch on it. And imposter syndrome is interesting because, again, it's fake it till you make it. I, for years, always had that. Everything I did in the entertainment industry, besides reality TV, I had imposter syndrome. When I used to host these big pre-shows on all of the big award shows, the Oscars, the Grammys, the Golden Globes, I had imposter syndrome the whole time. And I did it for like 5 years. I mean, they kept asking me back. So I was like, all right, well, maybe, I don't know. I guess I'm doing something right. But I think with imposter syndrome specifically, being really prepared in whatever it is you're doing, whether, let's say it's work, because I do feel like a lot of times that goes more hand in hand with work stuff. It's being so prepared, doing all of the things that you can do so that when you're put in the situation, you're ready to go. So let's say it's giving a big speech in front of your whole company, which, by the way, I quite literally shit my pants for that stuff. I hate that stuff. I used to have a major fear of public speaking, and now I can do it in front of thousands of people. That actually, I'll get really nervous right before I go out, and then once I'm out, I'm fine. But getting up and talking in front of 15, 20 people that I know, absolutely not. Like, that's where that's where I crumble. I don't crumble, but that's a good situation. I actually just did I spoke at this entrepreneur conference, and that's one of those situations where I really believe rehearsing this stuff beforehand so that you do feel confident. You know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing. So again, anything at work, it's just, actually the award shows are a good example of that, where I remember the first Golden Globes that I did, I was so nervous. So for, I think 2 or 3 weeks leading up to it, I went over my shit every single day. And we had teleprompters, you guys. They made it as easy as possible. But I think it's really obvious sometimes when someone is just reading a teleprompter. So I liked being able to have it as a safety net, but also be able to just kind of go off of my own mind. But I think it's really being prepared. is the only way that you can get over imposter syndrome. And then it's talking yourself up saying, I'm going to kill this. And by the way, if it is some sort of a public speaking thing, let's say, if you do rehearse it, there are all of these neuroscientists now saying that your brain actually doesn't distinguish between if it's already happened or like you rehearsing it and doing it out loud. Your brain thinks like, oh, it already happened. Like we already killed this. And so it's almost like tricking your brain and yourself and being like, we're going to go out there and crush it. And then you just go out there and you just fucking own it and you just do it. And then you guys wanted to talk about standing up for yourself and then being confident in setting boundaries in work, relationships, and friendships. And so for the longest time, I used to look at standing up for yourself as being loud and like this tough girl, like I take no shit from anybody kind of an attitude. And that is actually an insecure way of trying to gain control of a situation. So really standing up for yourself, you guys, it's knowing your worth, it's knowing your value, it's knowing what you're willing to put up with and not put up with. And again, I mean, this could be in a relationship, this could be at work. Standing up for yourself is because confidence is quiet, insecurity is loud. So it is remaining calm. It is knowing what you are worth. And let's say it's a work situation or even a relationship actually, and saying, here's what I bring to the table. Here is my value. And I don't feel like you respect me or see my value. And that's when you have to decide, you know, what's worth it to you, or first saying, and like in a relationship and saying, you know, I don't feel like you've been respecting me, or I don't feel like you're meeting me halfway, or whatever it is. And if things don't change, then I'm going to have to really reassess this, because if it's a relationship, I love you and I want this to work, but I also have to do what's best for me. And it's just remaining calm in that. And you have to be willing to walk away, though, if you're going to voice your opinions. And, well, you know what? Here's a good example. I mean, I had to set boundaries with my dad. And that was really scary for me because my dad was someone that for the longest time I could never stand up to. I could stand up to anybody else. And I almost kind of got off on it in a lot of ways. But my dad, I was such a little bitch. I could never. And so, but he was like the main person in my life I needed to set boundaries with. And when I finally could kind of stand up for myself, it felt really good. And I think the first time I ever did, it really caught him off guard. He was trashing my mom, man, trashing my mom. And this is not that long ago in the grand scheme of things. This is me as an adult. Like, this is me after I had kids and still ripping on my mom and was talking about my brother's death and just was getting nasty. And that was the first time in my whole life I stood up to him. And it needed to happen. I think then he saw like, oh, holy shit. And the thing with my dad was he had a lot of chances and he didn't respect my boundaries, and then he didn't respect my kids' boundaries, and that's why he's no longer in our lives. And so the thing about boundaries is if you want to set boundaries, you have to be willing to then walk away from whatever the situation may be. And I am someone who I am not afraid to walk away from situations or cut people out of my life if they are only bringing me negativity, because I think life is too short. I think our parents are a great example of that, where just because they're family doesn't mean you should keep them in their life all the time. I do think in a lot of situations, do families fight? Of course, every family has their shit. But if a parent or a sibling or an aunt or an uncle is really crossing the line, that is not worth it. And if it's creating stress for you, and especially if you're not able to speak up to them, that's not worth it. Friendships are another great example of this, where I really believe some people come into your life for a season. I think there is takeaway from every relationship, and you are able to learn and grow from them. And the people who go out of your life, even more so. And not everyone is meant to stay in our lives forever. I really do believe that. And we have to be okay with allowing that. I think just flowing with the universe instead of trying to control things, I have found a lot of peace in that, because I used to be someone that tried to control everything that came my way, and learning how to just let it go. Because also, and here was another question that somebody said, that you guys wanted me to talk about adult women not having each other's backs. This is a very real thing. It's a real thing that it's hard to come by really genuine, loyal, honest people in life, period. So when you find those people, you really hold on to those people because they're really important. And again, I've had, I guess I've really had one adult friendship with a woman that blew up in my face. And this is a great example. The very Cavallari fans will know this one. But I felt as though one of my best friends at the time, who was on the very Cavallari show, I don't think she ever had an affair with my ex-husband. But the viewers of the show, season 2, were accusing them of having an affair. And then what is this? And I then started to notice that she was capitalizing on that. The way she would speak about him then on social media, how she was trying to add fuel to the fire. And that's when I took a step back, and I was uncomfortable with the situation. And I wrote her an email. You know it's serious when it's an email. And I was very careful about just saying, hey, here is how your actions have made me feel. I in no shape or form attacked or blamed, or it was just, this is how I feel. And it blew up in my face. And my thing with friends is, if we can't have a conversation of like, these are my feelings, and if you can't respect my feelings and basically just turn it around on me, I can't do anything with that. If I had a friend who came to me and said, Kristen, what you did made me feel really uncomfortable, and whatever the case, I would say, holy shit, I am so sorry. That was not my intention. I'm really sorry that that's your experience of this. And also, this is what I was going through or thinking. And then you hear both people's sides, and then everyone feels validated. That's all most people ever want, but that's really difficult for a lot of people. When people come at it from the defense, I'm like, how can you argue my emotion? You can't argue someone's emotions. This is how you made me feel. Like, I'm not wrong for that, So my point being, it's really sad when adult women can't meet you in the middle like that and have your back and do something to disrespect you and make you feel really shitty. But it happens. And I think instead of being so down about it, it's like, okay, well, you know what? I enjoyed the years that we had together. I've learned a lot from this relationship as well. And you have to just let it go. And you have to just move on from it, unfortunately, and be thankful for the time that you had together. It's really no different than any sort of romantic relationship that you have. It's all the same energy. And then you guys wanted to move into dating and confidence and dating. And okay, so I got a lot of questions about when men say one thing but act a different way, how to tell when a guy is lying, dating advice, situationships, how to make them fall in love. Okay, so let's start with men who say one thing and act a different way. That's a massive red flag. Actions are way more important than words. Guys will say anything. They will say anything to get you in bed, just to keep you on the hook. Guys, it takes a long time to be able to trust a guy. And words have to equal actions. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of bullshit. And I do feel like I have sort of a guy mentality. And that's why I've always kind of understood this game to a degree. And I don't know if it's because I had an older brother. I know for a fact I was a guy in another life. I think for a long time I was so afraid of getting my heart broken that then I became the heartbreaker. I think it's just a combination of things. I have masculine energy when it comes to this stuff. So I do feel like I've always been really good friends with men, with boys and men. I love men. I get along really well with men. I am a girl's girl too. I have both. Obviously, I've got really great girlfriends in my life too, but I do love men. But so I've been around like my whole life, high school, early 20s. I always had really good guy friends, and just hearing the way that they would talk also was like, oh, wow, this is fascinating to me.
All right, let's talk about Good American. Good Americans always fits jeans are a total game changer, guys. Whether it's a big lunch, a few drinks with friends, or even that time of the month, these jeans fit like a dream. They stretch perfectly with my body, giving me room to move and breathe without ever losing their shape. I feel confident and comfortable no matter what the day brings. It's like they were made just for me. Co founded by Khloe Kardashian and Emma Grede, with a mission to redefine fashion through inclusivity and comfort, creating denim that feels as good as it looks, catering to all body shapes and sizes. Good Americans always fits denim. Use a one size fits four design that adapts to your body's changes and fluctuations, guaranteeing the perfect fit every time. So, when your body changes, your jeans won't need to. Good Americans always fits limitless four-way stretch and recovery denim moves with you, stretching up and down four sizes, holding its shape and flattering yours. Available from sizes 00 to plus size 32. They have gap proof waistband, tummy smoothing technology, 100% stretch, and reinforced belt loops. They have everything from skinny jeans to boot cut, high waisted to cropped. Good American offers a wide variety of styles that cater to every preference and every occasion. Shop now at goodamerican.com. Use promo code HONEST to get $50 off your first pair. Don't forget to select podcast at checkout and choose my show to let them know that I sent you. Want to talk to you guys about a brand that I know you know and love, and that is Gatorade. Specifically, I want to talk to you guys about Gatorade Hydration Booster. You guys know that I absolutely love electrolytes and I drink them every single day. Well, Hydration Booster contains electrolyte levels suitable for all day, always on hydration, so you can enjoy Gatorade Hydration Booster throughout the entire day. Advanced blend of electrolytes from watermelon, sea salt, and other sodium and potassium salts. This product contains 30 calories and 5 grams of sugar versus Liquid IV, which contains 45 calories and 11 grams of sugar. They're packed with essential vitamins backed by Gatorade's superior science experts. They have no artificial flavors, sweeteners, or added color, which you guys know I absolutely love. They help keep you at your best, no matter what the day throws your way. This product is for anyone with a lot on their to do list. Electrolytes are not just for athletes, you guys. I love drinking electrolytes when I'm working out, if I'm going in the sauna, if you're feeling a little run down, which maybe you guys can hear it in my voice right now, but I am. I love that the electrolytes in Gatorade Hydration Booster come from recognizable sources like watermelon juice and sea salt. That is right up my alley. If you guys have not gotten on the electrolyte bandwagon, I'm telling you, once you start, you will never go back. So definitely check out Gatorade Hydration Booster. Put your water to work with Gatorade Hydration Booster. You can use code BOOST20 on Gatorade.com to try it yourself for 20% off. Here's another brand you guys know I love, and that is Bon Charge. Bon Charge is a holistic wellness brand with a huge range of evidence based products to optimize your life in every way. Founded on science and inspired by nature, all Bon Charge products adopt ancestral ways of living in our modern day world. Their extensive range of premium wellness products help you sleep better, perform better, have more energy, recover faster, balance hormones, reduce inflammation. I mean, the list is endless. From blue light glasses and infrared saunas to red light therapy to EMF management and circadian friendly lighting, Bon Charge products help you naturally address the issues of our modern day way of life effortlessly and with maximum impact. You guys already know, but my favorite product is their red light face mask. Red light has been known to help with wrinkles and fine lines. Yes, please. Sore jaw, eczema, migraines, acne, scar tissue. It helps with wound healing. It's also just really relaxing, helps with razor burn, ingrown facial hair. What an incredible list. And I don't know, guys, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and tell you people have been definitely commenting that my skin's been looking really radiant. And so, hey, I'm here for it. It's so easy to use their face mask, just 10 to 20 minutes each day. It's super lightweight and it doesn't get hot on your face. And guys, Bond Charge is having their coveted end of year sale where you can save the most dollars all year. Go to bondcharge.com and use coupon code HONEST25 to save 25%. That's BONCHARGE.com and use coupon code HONEST25 to save 25%.
But so that's the thing with actions. And then how to tell when a guy is lying. I think it's sort of what we were just talking about. When a guy gets really defensive, when he wants to turn it around on you, and those are sort of narcissistic behaviors. I don't think everyone is a narcissist. I think that a lot of guys will just lie and it has sort of the same tendencies. But the getting really defensive, turning it around on you, taking zero accountability. Again, it kind of goes back to that friendship thing where it's like, let's say you said, I saw you flirting with another girl at the club. I don't know. I'm just pulling this out of my ass. And he's like, no, I wasn't. Well, you were talking to guys all night. That kind of behavior. That's like, to me, that's just so immature. But you want a guy who's going to say, oh God, I am so sorry that you feel like that. I've known Casey forever. And that, we were just catching up and talking. You also want a guy who's not going to do that at all and make you even feel like that. But that's just the reality. So it can be tricky though sometimes to know when a guy is lying. I sort of take the stance that until proven innocent, the guy is lying. And this is more maybe when you're not in a relationship, more kind of in the beginning, but in a relationship, I used to feel like I could really tell when a guy was lying. And then over the years, I've learned that sometimes I've been wrong about that. But I will say, I've talked about it a lot on the podcast. We, as women, we have this gut feeling. We do. And you have to listen to that. Our guts are never wrong. They just aren't. And I think that's just our best guide. That's our compass. And we have to pay attention to it. I also think though we have to be careful because the flip side is too, sometimes we will get in our own heads and kind of spiral and like get ourselves all worked up and we could be wrong. But I do think it's that accountability piece because you have to imagine if a guy came to you and with whatever the issue may be and he was upset, you wouldn't, and you didn't actually do anything. You wouldn't turn it around on them. You would just quite literally say, I'm sorry and be like, no, here's what happened. Like, I hate that you feel like this. Like, truly, I'm telling you the truth. And so I do that a lot of times. I'm like, okay, if I were in this situation, how would I respond if I was telling the truth? Because I feel like I'm pretty fucking transparent when it comes to relationships. And it's kind of hard to get that in return. But I don't know. So I'm always like, why? I would be telling the truth. Okay, and then in typical my Instagram follower fashion, you guys asked a lot of questions about me and dating. And so I've talked a little bit about this, but dating is funny right now. I know on the podcast a couple weeks ago I said I was kind of dating someone and ultimately I'm not I don't know. I don't think that it's that I'm not ready. I think where I'm at in my life, if I feel one thing is wrong, is missing, I'm not wasting my time and my energy on someone. I'm very quick to end things. Very. Even sometimes my friends are like, Jesus, okay, like there's no chill. I'm like, this isn't working for me. Well, it's funny because Justin will be like, can't you just slowly pull away? Where I'm like, no, I don't. To me, that's like playing a game. I'm like, I'd rather just be an adult and have an adult conversation and be like, hey, like, here's where I'm at, and just end things. But so that's done. And I do think if the right person came along, I would be ready to date, but I'm not actively looking to date right now. But okay, anyways. The question that you guys had was to describe my perfect soulmate, what I want. So last fall on the podcast was very date heavy. I was dating a lot. I was on Raya. I was like doing all the things and it was really fun. I had the time of my life. I'm not going to be getting back on a dating app. I don't think, but everything I said last fall is still true. I'm looking for someone who is loyal and honest. I'm very fucking honest and transparent, and I want that in return. And someone who's really fun. I'm a homebody, and my day to day, I went to bed at 8:30 last night, but like, normally like 9. I'm up early with the kids, obviously, for school and everything. But I like to go out from time to time and turn it up and have a good time. So it's someone who can kind of just match that energy for me, and someone who's really grounded, who is always looking to improve, who is always wanting to learn and grow. I hope that I am learning and growing until the day that I die. And I hate people that are just complacent. Like I always want to be searching and finding new stuff. And I think it has to be someone who's kind of in the same phase of life as me, where I am not looking to grind anymore, right? I've sort of curated my life to be this perfect work-life balance, and my kids are the main part of my life. And then I've been able to work in the podcast and Uncommon James to fit my schedule on my terms. It's really been beautiful, and I'm really thankful for it. And so it's someone who's kind of like on the other end of that as well, who's not hustling, and trying to like get their career off of the ground. Because to be honest, I kind of want to retire in the next few years, and then I've got 9 more years with kids in the house, and then I can just travel and do whatever. And I always say I want to retire, and I know that I'll be bored after a week. So I'm going to have do something. But it's someone who's just like, who's not in that hustle mode, who's kind of, isn't like in the mode of having something to prove. Like, I'm over that phase of having something to prove, which makes me really happy, because it was fun and I had that fire in me, but I'm too laid back now for that. So I need someone who meets me there. And then I think accountability is such a huge piece in a relationship. And that's when you've been on the other end of that, where there is zero accountability. That is huge. That's a deal breaker for me. Someone who has zero accountability, I could never, ever be with. And then I want someone who's worked through their trauma. And I mean, yeah, we all do. But you know what? I think a lot of people go through life completely unaware of their trauma and why they are the way that they are. Everyone's childhood affected them in one way or another. I don't care what you say. And I've really worked through my shit, and I want someone who's done the same, because I just think like that's a deeper intimacy of being able to connect. And really, again, that goes with like really knowing who you are and how you function in the world and how you've navigated your whole life, really. And that, to me, it shows us a real depth when someone's done the hard work and really gotten in there and figured things out. And then I want someone who I can learn from, who is my equal, who is bringing a lot to the table, who can just teach me things and help me grow and lift me up, I think I've chosen guys in the past where I do a lot of the lifting up, and it's like I want to not save sometimes. I want to like save these guys and help out these guys, and it's like I'm done doing that. I want someone to lift me up, and I want to just learn and grow from someone. And then, I've been thinking a lot about chemistry versus the compatibility piece. And I talked a lot about this on the podcast last year when I was dating again. But, I've realized it's so hard to find both, and I'm not settling until I have both. Well, it's actually 3 things. It's the chemistry, the compatibility, and someone wanting to grow with you. It's being in the same phase of life. But I feel like I have compatibility with probably a lot of people, and that's lacking the chemistry piece. And then I've had amazing chemistry with a couple guys in the last 4 years, but the compatibility piece is missing. And, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I will never settle for anything less than that, though. And so I just think moving forward for all of us, if something is not a full body yes, then to me that's a no. And so that's what I'm going to leave you guys with moving forward, whether it's work, relationships, friendships, anything. If it is not a full body yes, it's a no. Okay, guys. Thank you for listening. I will see you guys next week.